Hola! Today we're going to start talking about los mandatos formales y plurales. Formal commands are used when you're talking to someone you would normally talk to as usted. So potentially your boss, supposedly your teacher, someone who is older than you or in a position of authority, someone you're meeting for the first time. Mandatos plurales, plural commands, are what we use to discuss or tell a group of people to do. So ustedes, if I'm telling all of you, as in all of you students in the class, to do something, I'm going to use a plural command. And you've often heard me use these throughout the course of the school year, but now hopefully you'll be able to recognize them for what they are. So, right now we need to know ¿qué son los mandatos? Usamos los mandatos para dar órdenes, so to give orders a otra persona u otras personas. So it's what we use to tell someone else what to do. There are two different types of commands in terms of telling someone to do something or telling someone not to do something. Mandatos afirmativos, as you can see, or affirmative commands, tell someone to do something. This doesn't mean that you're always telling the person to do something that's great or positive, but if you're telling someone to do something, the command is considered affirmative. Mandatos negativos, negative commands, are when we tell someone or some people not to do something. So once again, you can tell someone not to do something and the message is actually positive. For example, you say no se preocupe, which is a formal command for do not worry. You're trying to be nice, telling someone not to worry, but it's still considered to be a negative command just because of the no in front of the command. Para formar los mandatos, we have verbos AR. The first thing that you're going to do is use the yo form of the verb in el presente. So the two examples of verbs that we're going to use are eliminar and conservar. For eliminar, we start off with eliminó. For conservar, we start off with conservo. There is a very specific reason why you're going to be asked to start with the yo form consistently. It'll hopefully become clearer as we get into the ERs and some of the verbs with spelling changes, irregular verbs that are a little bit irregular, like tener and salir, in the yo form. So keep in mind, if you stick with the idea of only using the yo form in the present and then following step 2, quita la o, getting rid of the o, you're going to be able to consistently do well throughout. So once again, step 1, you're going to use the yo form of the verb in the present. You've got your dos ejemplos. La segunda cosa que vas a hacer, second thing, get rid of the o, quita la o. So you're left with elimin y conserve. So, the final thing you're going to do is you're going to add different endings. Para formar un mandato formal, to make a formal command, an usted command, you're going to add the letter E. Para formar un mandato plural, to form a plural command, you're going to add the letters N. So we have dos ejemplos de mandatos formales y dos ejemplos de mandatos plurales. Para los mandatos formales, el primer ejemplo es elimine la contaminación de los océanos. Eliminate the contamination of the oceans. You, Mr. President, or Mr. Senator. See? Second one is conserve el petróleo. Conserve oil. That you could be saying to an oil company executive, something along those lines. Your ustedes commands, or plural commands, if you're telling a group of people, eliminen la basura en las calles. Eliminate trash in the streets. Y conserven las selvas tropicales. Conserve the tropical rainforests. Moving on to ER and IR verbs. For the first two steps, you follow the same base rule, but I want you to be very careful when you take a look at these verbs. The first verb here, resolver, is a stem change. The O changes to UE, and you'll notice that our yo form is resuelvo. This is what you need to start off with when you're doing a formal command or a plural command. For reducir, we have reduzco. It's an irregular yo form only, and you need to start with this when you're doing a formal or plural command. Quita la O, you're going to get rid of the O, so you have resuelve and reduzc. Third step, añade las terminaciones. So, para un mandato formal, in usted command, you're going to add the letter A. Para un mandato plural, ustedes commands, you're going to add the letters an. So for our usted commands, los mandatos formales, we have two examples. Once again, you could pretend that someone is addressing someone who is involved in government, who has some stake in this issue, but resuelva el problema de la lluvia ácida. Resolve the problem of acid rain. Reduzca el uso del aire acondicionado en el verano. Reduce the use of air conditioner in the summer. Los mandatos plurales, the plural commands, are resuelvan el calentamiento global con leyes nuevas, resolve global warming with new laws, y reduzcan la contaminación del aire, reduce the contamination of air or air pollution. Now it's really easy to form negative commands here. La única cosa que tienes que hacer es poner la palabra no antes del mandato. So in order to make a command negative, just put no in front of the command. So por ejemplo, we have no eche las botellas en el basurero. Don't throw the bottles in the trash can. No enciende todas las luces si no es necesario. Actually, sorry, that should be no encienda. Sorry, that's an error there. Todas las luces si no es necesario. Also, we have no salgan sin poner los vasos de plástico en la basura. Salgan comes from the verb salir. The irregular yo form is salgo. And that's what we're working with to get the no salgan. And no usen demasiada agua cuando laven los platos. Don't use, ustedes, too much water when you guys wash the dishes. There are a few other things you need to know here. And this is going to take a little bit of practice for some of you to be able to do well. Verbs that end with car, gar, and zar tienen terminaciones un poco diferentes. They have endings that are a little different. You're going to see those different endings on this slide, and then you're going to see examples, ejemplos, on the next slide. Verbs that end with car, for usted, the ending is going to be que. Verbs that end, for ustedes, the ending is going to be ken. Verbs that end with gar, the usted ending for commands is going to be ge, and the ustedes ending for commands is going to be gen. For verbs that end with sar, Z-A-R, Z-A-R, the usted ending is going to be se, and the ustedes ending is going to be sen. So, los ejemplos. For a verb that ends with car, we have buscar. See? So, for an usted command, busque maneras de mejorar la situación. For a plural command, ustedes commands, we have busquen fuentes de energía renovable. Lo siento. Next we have a verb hogar, which is apagar. Usted command, apague las luces al salir de la clase. And ustedes command, which could go out to all of you sometimes, apaguen los móviles durante la escuela. And for your verbo zar, we're dealing with amenazar. No amenace los animales que viven en las selvas tropicales. Y no amenacen los animales que están en peligro de extinción. That's your ustedes command. Two more little things you need to be aware of. These are verbs that are in this unit specifically that have an irregular yo form in the present. You need to start with what you see here, but like all the other verbs, you're only going to get rid of the O to make the commands. So with construir, you need to start off with construyo, and destruir, you need to start off with destruyo. For crecer, you need to start off with crezco, and reducir, you need to start off with reduzco. For proteger, you need to start off with protejo. And finally, there are 5 irregular commands that you need to be aware of, or 5 verbs with irregular command forms. So the verbs are dar, estar, ir, saber, and ser. You can see the irregular command forms here. Please get them down If you have questions, please be prepared to bring them to class when these notes are due, and we will go over things then. Gracias.